directly with some of my detractors, including Ginel. We also have Joann, who says I'm human and should be allowed to change my mind. And they just can't stop talking to each other because even as I'm up here talking to you, they're still talking to each other. Joann, what are you saying? Can you say it out loud? Janelle, what are you saying?
I think to make you happy, they need to get robots to become priests.
No.
Because humans...
That's undermining God's power and God's grace.
God forgave the Judas that hung him on the cross. He forgave people's sins.
There's a lot of people here in the audience that want to speak to Ginel and to Joann. What do you have to say?
Oh. I just have a quick question for Ginel. You're saying you're judging his actions, but the thing is, he's human, and love is love, and you can't help when you love someone. You can't just judge just his actions. You're judging him as who he is as a person. He has a heart. He loves someone. You can't help that.
Okay, I can say to that, yes, I can judge his action. I'm not judging him as a person, but I can judge what he did. That's perfectly fine. And other than that, love is a choice. He did not see her and was like, I'm in love. That doesn't happen.
Love, he has to get to know who she was as a person. She has a heart. She's a beautiful person. He loves her for who she is.
Love is a choice.
He loves her for who she is.
Action. He had to see her and want to call her and have coffee with her and fall in love with her. It wasn't like I just saw you and I'm in love. That doesn't work that way. If you're 13, then yeah.
I used to say to people all the time, oh, I don't believe in love at first sight. You know, you got to really think about it. I thought exactly the way you thought. And you know what? When I experienced love at first sight, everything changed for me.
You know what?
I hope you get there.
I think there's a thin line between infatuation and love. And infatuation is an actual chemical in your brain. It's going to make you think that you're in love, but it's not love. Love is sacrifice. Love is
so I'm infatuated to my wife. I'm not in love with her.
I'm not saying that you're infatuated now. I'm saying that in the beginning, when everything started, you were infatuated with her.
No,
and then
he had infatuation. He's been gone already.
I think the only person that can say that is me. Believe me, people don't last very long if it's just an infatuation. When you fall in love, you fall in love.
I just have to ask. I mean, if you want to say he's a man of God, doesn't it say that God is love? Do you love anything but yourself right now? Because that's what it sounds like. Do you?
I love many people. You're judging me now.
I think everyone has an opinion. Actually,
the way you say I'm judging him.
And I want to hear from Tom also.
Yes.
Tom is here with us in the audience, and he says that I put on my collar and took it off like a jersey for a team I didn't like. Wow. Tom.
It's like the LeBron James of Catholics, no offense.
No.
Like Ginel said, there's the way you enact love is a decision that you have to make. I love my mother, I love my daughter, and I love my wife, but I love them all very differently and enact that in a different way. So when you learn about this in seminary, there are Eastern Catholic churches in full communion with the Pope. Married priests, no problem whatsoever. You learned these items, so these elements.
But I didn't have the blessing of being born Eastern Catholic. I was born Roman Catholic, so I had no option. I'm sorry to tell you that. You have no option. When you enter the seminary, no, you don't. Nobody has a choice. You enter the seminary at 18 years old, and you understand all the rules, and you want to follow them, just like Ginel wants to follow them now. You know what? I appreciate your honesty and your convictions and your convictions. I appreciate that a lot. But you know what? You do change your mind. A lot of people, a lot of priests believe what I believe, and they stay within the church. Sometimes within relationships, and it's unfortunate.
Okay, but you were a public figure. You had to be a little more, I guess, classy about it.
You're saying if this was an ideal world, Father Albert, it would have been this way or that way. I didn't make that decision.
If it were an ideal world, then you would have stayed celibate.
If this was 1482, there'd be no video cameras. He wouldn't have got caught. He would have still been a priest and he would have had a girlfriend. He's doing it the right way.
And Joann, just for the record, I wasn't willing to continue living that way because I didn't want to live in a hidden relationship.
You can't. It's impossible. It's hard.
By the way, I think everyone has the right to change their mind. And I'm sorry.
Life changes for everybody. Go ahead. Life changes for everybody. But how you're going to react to the changes is up to you, and that's your free will. In this sense, when you're saying, well, you know, this is the way that I was formed, or whatever the case might be. As you said in one interview, I didn't fully agree with all the Catholic teachings. I just didn't preach on that. So there becomes an element where you ever in full union with the church. You become like a ball player who's supporting his team, cheering him up. Halftime, he starts scoring.
Unfortunately, there are many people who don't agree with all of the specific rules of the church that are not doctrinal, basic doctrines. Things like celibacy. I think celibacy is one of those things that always argued about.
Celibate doesn't mean that celibacy doesn't work for other priests.
I tell you, there's a lot that we could talk about just about my situation. But now I want to introduce you actually to my beautiful wife, my soulmate, my best friend, Ruhama, along with our baby Camila and our stepson Chris. Baby, they're all talking. Is there something you want to say?
Baby, we are very proud of you, and God bless you. Good luck.
Thank you, thank you. I'm going to need it, and I have it actually. And this is my stepson Chris. Chris is 16 years old, right?
Yes.
How do you feel about all this? Because they've been following you around too. He gets followed by the paparazzi too, you know.
Well, what can I do? It doesn't really bother me too much. I'm not super happy about it, but I'm good. Yeah. I'm having a good time and just living my life.
Very good. And she can't talk yet, but she'd like to. I want to show you. Can you hold this for me, Chris? Here? This beautiful little gift is a blessing from God. Her name is Camila. And I'd like to tell you all that there's so much more to my story. I put it all in my book, Dilemma. And everyone in the audience is going to receive a copy of it at the end of today's show. Now, I didn't want this program to be just about my personal dilemma. Stay with us.